Good morning, all and everyone. This is Vikas Meshram. Presently, I am working in GB Mahila Mahavidyalaya, Tumsar, District Bhandara, Maharashtra. I have submitted my paper for the publication in UGC Care Journal, uh, and today I am going to make a presentation of my paper. The title of my paper is "The Recursive Theme of Resegregation in Paul Beatty's Novels and its socio-political implications." My paper deals with the never seen before treatment given to the issue of segregation and resegregation by Paul Beatty in his novels. You might be knowing the name of Paul Beatty. Paul Beatty is uh, name of Afro-American author who was awarded Man Booker Prize in 2016 in for his novel The Sellout, which was published in 2015. For the purpose of this paper, I have used three novels of Paul Beatty. First one is The White Boy Shuffle, which was a debuting novel of the author. Second one is Slumberland, which was published in 2009. And the third one is the Man Booker Prize winning novel, The Sellout, which was published in 2015. My paper tries to reveal how the author endeavors to kindle a debate over the reintroduction of segregation, which for him has become a necessary tool to alleviate the worst effects of contemporary neo-racism. In fact, the author endeavors, I will show through my presentation that the author endeavors to give us a unique solution to the problematic issues of neo-racism and cultural kind of conflicts, racism and segregation, by using the theme of resegregation recursively in his novels. So far he has written 4 novels, and in 3 of these novels I have found the recursive use of this theme of segregation and resegregation. So here my attempt will be to study and explain the recurring theme of resegregation in his novels, in the author's novels, and with all its purposes, implications, and different consequences with which the author uses it as a driving force in his novels. Racial segregation, we all know racial segregation is a very notorious kind of part of American society, and throughout the history of America we have seen this racism and segregation has been have always been actually some of the chief distinguishing features of American society. Erstwhile it was a so common a trait, but now it has lost, racial segregation has lost its social mandate and is visible in a meager proportion nowadays. Its presence in the American society is still a reality in different forms. Racial segregation is not implemented or followed in American society in a traditional manner, or you may say in the old manner. It has changed its face, it has changed its forms. Now, earlier traditional racism has taken the form of cultural kind of racism, which came to be known as neo-racism in current context, and segregation also came to be, it's still, segregation is still followed, segregation is still implemented in American society, but it has changed its forms, and we are going to see how Paul Beatty has made this particular thing as major theme in his novels. The name of Paul Beatty, of course, can be taken to be the leading author in this pattern, whose satiric novels deal with neo-racist ambience in post-racial America and the reintroduction of the discussion of racial segregation in society. Racial segregation is not a novel theme, of course, we all know, novel theme in American literature, but Paul Beatty is the only author of contemporary times to show segregation and re-emergence of the old memories of the slavery somewhat necessary. He shows them somewhat necessary for the unification of the black race, so that these discriminatory and oppressive factors may bring the lost unity and fraternity in the Afro-American community. This is a very unique technique of bringing the taboo topics of race and racism in modern context to discussion. Of course, this will be my conclusion that through the use of recursive use of this theme of segregation and resegregation, the Paul Beatty is trying to initiate discussion over these forms of racism, segregation. Now, in this, in my presentation, I am much concerned with the never seen before treatment given to the issue of segregation by Paul Beatty, of course, as I have stated earlier. And I will also attempt to show how the author has, shown this, that it has become necessary to alleviate the worst effects of contemporary racism. In fact, the author endeavors to give us a unique solution to the problematic issues of Afro-Americans by using the theme of segregation. Now, as I have said, I will use 3 novels of Paul Beatty, and I will show how he has used segregation and resegregation recursively, the theme of segregation recursively in his novels. To talk about, to take the first novel, The White Boy Shuffle, which was published in 1996. White Boy Shuffle is a story of a black cultural mulatto. Mulattoes are those who are born of biracial parents, and cultural mulattoes are those who may be black but they live and navigate in white society, suburban society, and they are very much familiar with the white manners, sophisticated manners, and they lack the authentic black experience. Such people are called, such black men or women or children are called cultural mulattoes. So it is a story of cultural mulatto. White Boy Shuffle is a story of cultural mulatto whose name is Gunnar Kaufman and his family. His mother feels that he lacks black experience, and this is the reason that she takes her family, Gunnar Kaufman and all his sisters, back to a black locale, which is ghetto kind of locale, where he can get authentic black experience. Now, the development of the theme of segregation in the mind of Paul Beatty, the author, begins with this novel. It seems to have taken firm roots in Beatty's mind from the very beginning of his literary career. In the very first novel, that is The White Boy Shuffle, we find the roots of this theme developing in a miniature form. The author takes us into the history of hillside inner city, the hood, which may be called a hood. Black ghettos were came to be known as hood, to give a hint of its being more or less segregated locality, meant only for the hard rock niggers, Latinos, and Asians. He relates that after the late riots of 1960s, the city decided to pave over the neighboring mountainside surrounding the community with a great concrete wall that spans its entire curved perimeter, save for an arched gateway at the southwest entrance. So in this way, he has tried to explain how that particular locality, which hood or ghetto, was a segregated kind of locality. And why he does so, why does he show, or why does he takes his family in that particular novel to a black ghetto? It does not mean that he wants to initiate some kind of revolution, or he wants to once again try to criticize the white racist mentality. Actually, he uses this particular, he takes his family in the novel back to black society with a special purpose. Now, the evident purpose of Beatty in making Kaufman family move from all white suburban locality to a segregated and much stereotyped black hood seems to be ridiculing the anxiety of the black arts movements activists. Black arts movements, we all know, they were very much stubborn upon the ghetto culture the presentation of ghetto culture in literature. And it seems to be the purpose of the author Paul Beatty to ridicule and parody that said particular old black arts movements, you know, rule. Uh, Despite the fact that they are being welcomed and treated more or less as a on equal terms, the black arts movements activists were very much strict upon this particular rule that their young ones must learn the black authentic black experience, and this is the thing that the author is trying to parody. However, it is worthwhile to note here that BT makes his characters not to go against the systems of slavery and segregation, but to accept them as a last resort to bring about a discussion, or initiate a discussion about the futility of the past memories of the Afro Americans and the acuteness of the present neo-racial scenario. Here, Mark Anthony Neal is a scholar who has observed this, that through Gunnar, Beatty subverts traditional African American paradigm, poking fun at them rather than reverting them. So Beatty subverts this traditional Afro American paradigm by parodying the same, but he also tries to stick to the traditional Afro American experience by making characters experience what was faced by old generation of black Americans. Uh, the idea of using segregation in modern context as a tool to suit his purpose underwent further development in author's second project, Slumberland. In his second novel, The Slumberland, which was published in 2008, the idea of using segregation in modern context as a tool to suit his purpose, underwent a further development, and it was very beautifully used by the author in this novel also. In Slumberland, the theme of segregation has taken a step forward by making re-segregation of a worldwide phenomena. The Berlin Wall. He has shown the Berlin Wall, the collapse of Berlin Wall and the reemergence of Berlin Wall. And through Berlin Wall of Germany, he has tried to comment upon the issue of segregation and resegregation. He takes us in this particular novel, Slumberland. He takes us to Germany, where his protagonist, who is a DJ, he is fondly called as DJ Darky, has to travel to Berlin in search of Charles Stone, his musician guru, you may say, Akadashwa, a little known avant-garde jazzman, to play over his sonic masterpiece and validate his music. He is a musician, but Charles Stone, who lives in Germany, is the only person who can validate and who can give a perfect beat to his still incomplete kind of musical beat. So the country Germany, where this novel has been set, is already divided by racial and conflicting cultural affairs. The rise of the neo-Nazi ideological forces and hatred against Jews and blacks in Germany makes DJ Darky to presume that anytime, anywhere, a complaint can be lodged against him by a strange dowager. Such kind of things happen on every step in Germany. He feels that the people of Germany wants look at him as an expat and an expatriate, and they want him to go back from where he has come there. So he learns that the way Germans bandied the Jew made not only him but to the people miss the Berlin Wall, because in Slumberland, it is the time of collapse of the Berlin Wall, and he has very purposefully chosen that particular time frame for his novel as a setting of his novel, and he comments upon that now. In the middle of his novel, that when the Berlin Wall was collapsed, he says that the way Germans bandied the Jew made me miss the wall. Before reunification, no one called me nigger to my face or said Jew as a pejorative. Such are the things he has brought to light through his observations. He means to say that after the fall of Berlin Wall, there, the attempts were made by German government of reunification. But he is saying in this novel, the author is saying in this novel, that the aftermath of Berlin Wall, the aftermath of reunification were same as aftermaths of the reconstruction in America. American reconstruction history is very notorious. Attempts were made to reconstruct the American society after Jim Crow laws, but then the situation, the conditions of Afro-American people, became more, adverse or worse. The same happened with the Jews and black in Germany also. The wall had disciplined the Germans, but when it became non-extant, their normal racial notions came out on the surface, showing their true colors. And this is the reason that Darky, the protagonist of the novel, comments that black expat population longed for the wall's return, as the unification and the rise of neo-Nazi activity had given the West German asshole the freedom to show his true colors. And he also thinks that he is not the only one who misses the wall, but Germans miss it too, because they were very much habituated to see segregated society. West Germany segregated from East Germany. And Beatty notes here that the reality of that the city, Berlin city, which was so habituated to see the wall of Berlin, were longing for its re-emergence, as it provided them necessary segregation which they desired. And this is the thing, his paradise. Ultimately, at the end of this novel, he along with Charles Schwab, his guru, musician guru, attempt to bring back the Berlin Wall, and they organize a concert of music where they are going to create a wall of music right on the spot where their earlier Berlin Wall stood. So in this way, their concert takes place right into the middle of the square of Berlin, where earlier there was wall, the Berlin Wall. The streets surrounding this, were jammed with a cross section of Berliners who would come together to celebrate the city's resegregation. So in this way, author has made his protagonist and his characters to resegregate the society which has tried for unification and which has failed. So can resegregation be the only solution for the societies who are very much habituated to see segregated kind of society, and which cannot unify peacefully, harmoniously? This is the thing, this is the kind of issue which he brings into discussion in this particular novel. Now the third novel, The Sellout, which is the latest novel, fourth novel, which was published in 2015, which was awarded as Man Booker Prize in 2016, is the latest novel of Paul Beatty, where we find the theme of resegregation taking a fully grown form. Development of this theme went on further and further in his novels. It takes a fully grown form and covering within its fold all the race, popular culture, and politics in today's America. He has made segregation and slavery as the tools of his satirical masterpiece. It is about how the nameless black protagonist of the novel endeavors to bring back his city, Dickens, on the map of California once again after it was cunningly wiped off from the map without a loud send-off as a part of blatant conspiracy by surrounding increasingly affluent community, white community, you may say. In this particular novel, the city or the black locality, urban ghetto, you may say, a black urban ghetto, whose name is Dickens, is wiped off, removed from the map of California, and with that removal, or with that obliteration of removal of his city from the map of California, and all the signs and signposts are also removed. With that, they feel the Dickens people, the people who live, Afro American people who live in Dickens, they feel that their identity has been, obliterated, wiped off. And the protagonist with this, protagonist attempts to bring back his city on the map of California. And to obtain the lost reputation and recognition of Dickens, the protagonist contrives to bring together his race, black community, with a unique plan of introducing slavery and segregation of old days, Jim Crow laws of segregation. He begins with segregating the school and the school bus. He puts whites only boards on the buses and sets up all white Wheaton Academy, a school right in front of the black school, where only white students can take admission and black students are prohibited. He does the same in hospital, shops, street corners as well. All over the city, he puts whites only or blacks only kind of boards. He does all this to reinvigorate the old memories of the slavery era and the way they fought against the racial discriminations all through those years, because sometimes segregation brings people together. This is what he has said in this novel. Sometimes segregation brings people together, and this is the a special purpose that he has used the theme of segregation again and again recursively in his novel. Segregation brings people together for this special purpose. The author is right in saying so, as the return of suffering and social calamity acts as a binding factor for the society, which is dispersed at times by reintroducing the old era segregation in his locality and using racism as his uniting specter. The protagonist is able to bring social harmony in his community and to teach the people to behave. Thus, the close examination of the novels of Paul Beatty makes the picture clear of how the theme of segregation took shape and developed gradually in such each subsequent novel. This is what I wanted to say. Thank you very much for your patience hearing. Thank you.